Greetings, connoisseurs of culture and seekers of the untold stories behind the limelight. You have tuned in to Anything You Want, the only digital sanctuary where we refuse to skim the surface of celebrity news, choosing instead to plunge into the abyssal depths of the industry's most compelling narratives. If you are tired of the fleeting, superficial headlines that dissolve like morning mist, you have found your home. Today, we stand on the precipice of a historical shift in the entertainment landscape, witnessing the metamorphosis of a man who has transcended the label of heartthrob to become a global phenomenon. Before we embark on this epic journey across the high seas of the 19th century and the cutthroat boardrooms of Hollywood, I must ask for your alliance. To ensure that our independent voice continues to resonate, please verify that you are subscribed to Anything You Want. For those who wish to be the true patrons of this channel and guide our editorial compass, I invite you to click the join button below. Your support is the wind in our sails. Now, prepare yourselves. We are about to dissect the monumental arrival of Sandokan and the coronation of Yaman as a true titan of the screen. In the annals of television history, there are rare moments when a production ceases to be mere entertainment and transforms into a cultural battering ram, shattering geographical borders and linguistic barriers. Sandokan is precisely such a phenomenon. It is not merely a costume drama adorned with swords and ships, but the definitive manifesto of Yaman's ascent to the global pantheon. For years, the industry has whispered about the potential for a Turkish actor to truly cross over into the Anglo-centric hegemony of Hollywood, and with the latest maneuvering by Netflix US, that potential has kineticized into reality. The announcement that this magnum opus will land in the libraries of Netflix United States on Monday, January 19, 2026, is not a simple update to a streaming calendar, it is a declaration of intent. It signifies that the gatekeepers of American entertainment have recognized a force that can no longer be contained within the European continent. While the series initially found its footing on Rai 1, mesmerizing Italian audiences with record-breaking viewership, and subsequently expanded its reach through the digital corridors of Disney+, the acquisition by Netflix US represents a paradigm shift. Industry insiders, speaking in hushed tones behind the velvet ropes of production studios, have confirmed that this move places Sandokan squarely on the list of the year's most ambitious international acquisitions. This is the ultimate validation. By releasing all 8 episodes simultaneously, Netflix is not testing the waters. They are unleashing a tidal wave, confident that the charisma of Yaman and the high-octane narrative will captivate an audience that is notoriously difficult to please. This is the moment where the Turkish actor prefix is dropped, leaving simply global star in its wake. To understand the magnitude of this project, one must first appreciate the pedigree of the artisans laboring behind the camera. Sandokan is not a haphazard assembly of scenes. It is a meticulously crafted visual symphony orchestrated by the titans of European production, Lux Vide and Rai Fiction. These are the same visionary entities that breathed life into historical masterpieces such as Medici and Leonardo, productions that blurred the line between television and cinema. With Sandokan, they have seemingly abandoned the constraints of a television budget, adopting instead a cinematic language that speaks in the grand dialects of sweeping landscapes, intricate set designs, and a costume department that rivals the grandest opera houses of Vienna. This is a reimagining of a cult classic from the 1970s, yet it refuses to rest on the laurels of nostalgia. The producers have stripped away the dated veneers of the past to reveal a modern, pulsating epic that resonates with contemporary sensibilities while honoring the source material. The decision to greenlight a second season before the global premiere has fully saturated the market is a testament to the undeniable quality of the footage already captured. It is an industry rarity for a project initially conceived as a limited engagement to trigger such immediate confidence, leading to a long-term investment. This speaks volumes about the raw power of the final product, a product that has reportedly exceeded even the wildest expectations of the executives who signed the checks. We are dissecting a career-defining moment here, but the conversation is incomplete without your perspective. As we watch Yaman challenge the established order of Western stardom, I must ask you, do you believe he has what it takes to become a household name in the United States, or will the cultural barrier prove too difficult to overcome? Furthermore, which other Turkish luminaries do you believe deserve this level of international investment? Tell us in the comments. And remember, hitting the like button is the easiest way to help this video reach other fans who crave deep analysis just like you. For those who want to see their names in our credits and support us directly, the join button is waiting for you. Let us delve into the narrative tapestry that Yaman has been tasked with weaving. Adapted from the immortal literary works of Emilio Salgari, the story transports us to the humid, treacherous jungles and turbulent seas of Borneo in the year 1849. However, this is not a simple tale of swashbuckling adventure, it is a character study of a man in flux. Sandokan, known fearfully as the Tiger of Malaysia, begins his journey not as a revolutionary hero, but as a pirate existing on the fringes of morality, fighting solely for the primal necessity of survival. He is a man without a cause, a warrior adrift in a violent world, until destiny intervenes in the form of Mariana, the daughter of the British consul. This narrative pivot introduces a romance that is as dangerous as it is intoxicating, a forbidden love that defies the rigid class structures and political allegiances of the 19th century. It is this emotional catalyst that transmutes Sandokan from a marauder into a myth, a leader who dares to challenge the omnipotent might of the British Empire. Yet, every hero requires a shadow to give him definition, and in this saga, that darkness is embodied by Lord James Brooke. Portrayed by the intense Ed Westwick, Brooke is the legendary hunter of pirates, a figure of ruthless efficiency who believes that the ends eternally justify the means. He is the cold steel of imperialism clashing against the fiery spirit of rebellion, providing the narrative friction that elevates the series from an adventure story to a complex political drama. To say that Yaman prepared for this role would be a gross understatement. He underwent a total metamorphosis, dismantling his previous persona to rebuild himself in the image of the tiger. For months, he subjected his body and mind to a grueling regimen that would break lesser men. This was not merely about aesthetic perfection or the vanity of muscles, it was a functional reconstruction. He immersed himself in the archaic arts of swordsmanship, mastering the blade until it became an extension of his own limb. He endured physical endurance camps designed to replicate the exhaustion of maritime life, ensuring that every drop of sweat on screen was authentic. However, the true marvel lies in the spiritual and linguistic transformation. Yaman worked tirelessly to master the accent and the archaic cadence of the period, stripping away his modern vernacular to speak with the voice of history. Critics and insiders alike are whispering that this performance is the most profound dramatic work of his career. Sandokan is portrayed not as a monolithic statue of strength, but as a fractured soul, a leader torn between the blinding rage of vengeance and the vulnerability of love. It is this duality, the juxtaposition of the warrior's brutality and the lover's fragility, that critics predict will earn him accolades far beyond the borders of Turkey or Italy. The chemistry on a film set is often an elusive alchemy, but reports leaking from the international locations of Sandokan suggest an atmosphere charged with electricity. The casting of Ed Westwick opposite Yaman was a stroke of genius, pitting the brooding intensity of the Hollywood bad boy against the charismatic fire of the Turkish superstar. Sources from the set indicate that the rivalry between their characters bled into the reality of the production, not in a malicious sense, but in the form of a competitive excellence. It is said that both actors pushed one another to the brink, elevating the stakes of every scene they shared. The production, which spanned multiple countries throughout 2024, became a melting pot of acting methodologies. With a cast comprising Italian, British, Turkish, and American talent, the set was a microcosm of the global audience the series aims to capture. Within this diverse ecosystem, Yaman reportedly emerged not just as the lead actor, but as a leader of the troupe, setting a standard of discipline and focus that commanded respect. The tension in the scenes between the tiger and the hunter is palpable, a visceral clash of wills that serves as the engine of the series. This is not just acting, it is a duel, captured on 35mm lenses for the world to witness. Beyond the narrative and the performances, Sandokan is poised to trigger a seismic shift in the world of fashion and aesthetics. We are already witnessing the early tremors of what fashion critics are dubbing wild aristocracy. The visual identity of Yaman in this series, the untamed beard, the rugged, windswept hairstyles, the fusion of tribal and colonial wardrobe elements, is more than a costume, it is a manifesto. It challenges the polished, sanitized grooming trends of the last decade, offering instead a raw, primal masculinity that is resonating deeply across social media platforms. By 2026, as the series permeates the American consciousness via Netflix, experts predict a resurgence of this exotic leader aesthetic. The European and American press have already begun to dissect Yaman's look, not as a fleeting costume choice, but as a defining image of modern defiance. He is being positioned not just as an actor, but as a brand ambassador, a figure whose silhouette alone is enough to sell a lifestyle. This is the hallmark of a true icon. When their fictional presentation begins to alter the reality of the streets. As we look toward the future, the renewal of Sandokan for a second season serves as the ultimate vote of confidence. It suggests that the story of the Tiger of Malaysia is far from over and that the investment in this world is long-term. But the implications for Yaman extend far beyond the jungles of Borneo. Rumors are swirling in the VIP lounges of Los Angeles that the actor is already in advanced negotiations for major English-language motion pictures. We are talking about high-budget fantasy epics and historical dramas, genres that require the very specific blend of physicality and charisma that Yaman has perfected. Sandokan is, therefore, more than a series, it is a bridge. It is Netflix's strategic play to dominate the European market while simultaneously importing a new kind of leading man to the US. It is the story of a Turkish actor who refused to be defined by geography, who rewrote his own destiny through sheer force of will and talent. When the series drops in January, it will not just be watched, it will be dissected, debated, and remembered as the moment the landscape changed. Yaman has arrived on the radar of the world's most powerful producers, and Sandokan is his weapon of choice. And there you have it, the comprehensive anatomy of a global takeover. We are witnessing history in the making, a testament to what happens when talent meets opportunity on the grandest stage of them all. Yaman's journey with Sandokan is a reminder that in the world of entertainment, there are no borders for those brave enough to cross them. As we eagerly await the premiere, I want to extend my deepest gratitude to you for spending your valuable time with Anything You Want. If this deep dive into the mechanics of Stardom resonated with you, please do not leave without clicking the like button. It is a small gesture that makes a massive difference. Make sure you are subscribed and have the notification bell rung, so you are the first to know when the next chapter of this saga unfolds. And for those who want to support independent, high-quality analysis, the join button is your gateway to becoming a pillar of this community. We are Anything You Want, and we will continue to bring you the stories that matter, with the depth they deserve. Until next time, keep your eyes on the screen and your mind open to the impossible. Goodbye for now.